Hi, everyone. My name is Vicente Cruz. I'm the event and fundraising coordinator for the Oakland Greens, and this is our February monthly meeting. Do we need to go over the agenda at all? Everyone got it already, right? Okay. So I know Greg had something about that the state assemblyman for District 14 has decided to register as a green and wanted to talk about that we should actively support them or not. I have not gone to their page as of yet. Oh, Clint Smith, that's who you were talking about. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this came at the last minute, and so no, I did not return, but I can for our next meeting and even for our for the shameless plug of the virtual town hall on February 26th. But has anybody gone to his website?
I have not.
No. All right. So it definitely will have to get it on the agenda again. Okay. Anything else on Clint Smith that since Greg's not here? Hearing none. So the next one actually was up there was in-person events. So my proposal is that no matter what, we just go back to doing in-person events in May, which would mean that no matter what the first Saturday, I'll put in the applications, and we could start at Grand Lake Farmers Market or Fruitvale, whatever. I mean, we don't have to decide that actually on purpose until April. We can do either one of the libraries or the farmers market. So open discussion on going back to in-person monthly meetings and movie nights and start tabling in May.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Michael, please.
are you proposing that we start meeting in person at the game store in May?
Correct.
That part of the proposal?
Correct.
Thank you.
And Orlando, did you actually you were thumbs up on it, or you have something you want to add?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree, May, because I know what our county work, they said everything I'm gonna start to June. So May, June, it sounds perfect for me.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone have any concerns? No?
No.
No? All right, so I'll reach out to Chris and let her know again, and of course to my family, so we get the screens and stuff back going. I will, for the movie nights, still make it turn it into a Eventbrite policy, so we can just still limit the number, so we know how many people will be coming, and always keep the cap on that as well. And I guess we can still table it until, I guess, next month and April's meeting, but I think we should have also discussions of, are we going to ask for vaccinations? Do we care? Are we going to do masks or not? Social distancing we could do all the time just because we'll limit number of people. So when they're actually watching the movie, but when we at dinner, we usually sit right next to each other and things like that. So keep that in the back of your mind. Oh, Mika has her hand up, please. Oop, you got to unmute, please.
Hi, everybody. Vicente, you said about going back to the meetings and taking it to Eventbrite to keep a cap on it. What is the cap?
I was thinking 20 people for the game store for a movie night. We've had 20 before, and when we were watching the movie, we all were still pretty spread out. And I see Michael's hand as well again, please, go ahead. Unless Mika, I'm sorry,
yeah.
do you have anything else, or was that it?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, Michael, sorry.
Yes, I want to know about the library events. Is part of your proposal that we start in-person tabling at the libraries?
Correct.
In May.
Correct. So one week will be the farmers market, next week will be Fruitvale Library, and then the week after will be Brookvale, or whatever order we want to do in.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, again, Mika, please go ahead.
I was hunting for the. Okay, so you're talking about going, these places tabling in May, and this is for registration?
Voter registration, we have a lot of literature that we have. And then we did one time last summer, a sort of like a monologue with specifically like getting to people. It's an outreach monologue, but trying to engage people to, get involved in the political process and produce the people and start really, really locally, going from an approach of like, we understand why you wouldn't do it in the national elections, especially when the country's so close to fascism. But the real way that we think we're going to combat that is getting people before profit candidates on local and municipal levels, everything from fucking city council, school board, mayor, to fucking dog catcher, sheriff, right? Change the fucking way. And one of the things, again, non-shameless plug for our events this year is, what does a green police system look like? One of our the drinking events, the party events, and which will always be virtual, but move to an afternoon, more fun format. But anyway, that, the police, if they were green party police, we'd probably have a lot less fucking drama, right? Because they would on their own. Like, how many activists have never taken a de-escalation fucking class? Or know your rights training, like we all have. So just doing monologues, a lot of improv, other than bullet points, to try and get people engaged, anything to get them engaged, for them to come over and register, find out what we're about and everything like that. It's all outreach tactics. Sorry, that was a long rant.
Don't you think May is a little late to start registering? People are out registering voters daily. I was in Lake Merritt for the Healthcare for All rally yesterday. They were registering voters.
Well, the reason that we're waiting until May is, well, unless someone else wants to grab the tabling stuff and transport it over there at 8 o'clock in the morning and stay there for 6 hours, I'm the one that does it. And I'm not really, again, I'm like not pandemic ready until May, right? I still think that I'd love to see even for me, the daily numbers get to under 5,000 a day. But I just also think that we're going to be living in it forever. And May is when I've decided that I'm going to say, fuck it. So that's why. But if someone else wants to do it, they can completely do that. I say sarcastically, because it's me. I'm the energy, right? I say it all the time. I can't there's only certain things I can do arbitrarily. We are a group of people, but when comes to what shit's about to happen, like I'm the one that does it. So, as far as tabling and stuff, it's shit like that. The events, production, making sure that we're a year ahead, all of those things, right? That's me. And I kind of like really kept that, didn't really brag, but it's true. And I deserve the fucking to say it to myself, right? So anyway, but that hope answers Mika's question. And to the 7 people that will view it, that's why May became the.
But thanks for the fucking answer.
I know, I talk long too, right? You never tell that I've ever run for office or in event production as introducing people or anything like that. You never know. And I think that's it. January report back. We actually only made $22 as far as paid people, but January turned into an incredible event, right? If you all were there, I mean, it's gotten hits on YouTube and things. So, I was surprised. You never know how they're going to go ever. This one specific, I thought I was like, I was going to get to phone it in. I didn't look like it was going, and then, it turned into an incredible event. Does anyone have anything about January? Good, bad, critique, what we could do better? I totally take it. Oh, all right. So October for the big fundraiser at the end of the year. So I reached out to do an interview when we've been doing, which will also come to social media, with a sex worker, but it's $1,600, and I always wanted to keep our presenter fee at $1,000 for that too. So I think it's just, but I will reach out and ask if they will do it. I mean, just from the way we raise, it doesn't. So then what I thought instead, and I think I brought this up before, is doing a comedy event. There are a couple political comedians I think would do it for us on a discount just because they're also political, and just use that, do a comedy show as a, excuse me, as a fundraiser at the end.
Okay.
All right, I will reach out and see, and we can talk about it. Anything else on our, oh, and I guess I'll also add to that, even though we're going back to in-person in May, we'll still be on Zoom too. This will be, which will go out to the YouTube, Instagram viewers too. We will be doing, which I do now too. I do Instagram Live on it too. I'm live right now.
I doubt I.
So we will also be on Zoom at the event. Yes, Kyle, please go ahead.
Wait, you said the movie night is gonna be on Zoom?
Well, we will Zoom the dinner and beginning intro. We can't Zoom the movie, of course, because of copyright
Right.
issues. And then we will do we'll restart it again afterwards for just the discussion period.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know a lot about copyright too. And yeah, I don't want to fuck us up that way. And yeah, no, we toe a line, but we never cross it. Anything else on virtual or in-person events? Moving on Treasury, as we're holding steady at a little at 8:30, 8:40. But on that, I am going to, for next month, I will have a fundraising letter for us to approve, because I want to send it out to the county and to our emailing list. I want to put a little more effort into getting more fundraisers, because I don't think my computer will last another year. And, we want to do other stuff. We have to pay for the food, and we want to try. I want this year, I want us to get $4,999, which will keep it so that it makes the tax paperwork really easy until we go over $5,000. If it looks like we ever are going to get to that point, I hope it not just goes to 5 or 51. It would have to go from 4,999 to like 10,000, and then we be able to pay a real accountant to do it. Michael, I see your hand up.
Yes, I think that the time frame that you're talking about may conflict with the county fundraising letter, and I would strongly recommend that you check with Greg about the timing of the county fundraising letter.
Okay. Anything else on that? Seeing none. So Treasury, yeah, same thing. Oh, social media. So we have, again, I started doing Instagram lives on different things and promoting us. Like I said, we're live at the moment. But because of my social interaction with a couple of people who are already, I fucking can't even front it. They're like family already. But because of that, again, and our work with sex worker rights and women's rights, right? They have actually we actually have 44 new Instagram subscribers, and this has happened over a couple of days. And it's all because they thought they were going to see tits and ass. Instead, they got Vicente rant. And out of that, over the 3 days, 44 people said, oh, well, the rants are okay, and I can find the other thing I'm looking for anywhere else, but actually did stick around. So that's really, really positive. So even without going in-person events, we actually are doing outreach on a pretty large level. I'm also promoting the event because being inside of this culture society, our February event about being influencers and celebrities and stuff online, and tying it in, it is a real world unto itself, with peeks into the negative effects of the system that we're trying to smash, right? And the things we're trying to change. So I've been promoting to them because, and with humor, of course, right? And I know we're in a meeting now and I'm all deep and serious and all that, but I've been using humor too, because I've been saying, well, because you all should come, because I'm going to be talking about everything that I've experienced from my experience of viewing it, and viewing it as a complete outsider, luckily being a nerd like that. But I would say too that I make the joke that the names are going to be omitted to protect the guilty, right? Because who gives a fuck about the innocent? If the innocent didn't do anything, we don't care about them. And I will pause. Michael, I see your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of go back on the question of the fundraising button on the how are we doing on that score?
We have not, actually, you know what? I haven't checked our PayPal to see if anything came in, but I haven't received any emails, and I haven't been pushing it yet because I'm still waiting on this, which they said it would be 90 days. And I'm looking it up exactly now when I have to call them again. They said it would take long because it's tax season. No, hold on. Sorry, give me 30 seconds. The month and March. It is no more. It's got to be this one. Yes. So I have May 7th would be 90 days. And the agent I talked to, if I hadn't heard back by then I should call them and they should be able to look it up on their computer. And then I will really start pushing the fact fundraisers. I have put QR codes up on thing too. And like I said, I haven't checked on that either, but I haven't pushed it because we still we have banking issues with, Bank of the West. So I don't want it to actually I don't want to fuck with the paperwork more than once.
Okay.
Social media, treasury. Oh, and then, so I'm just about to end, but to tell this person, if you didn't read it, that if they do it, email me again, I'm just going to start like harassment proceedings and everything. So supposedly we've all been taking critical race theory indoctrination classes. And on Marxist studies and all these things, this woman, I don't know where she found us or how, but emailed the Gmail account. And that was all the emails that I sent you out to saying, that we were all indoctrinated. But if it happens again, I'm just going to, again, tell her because she's harassing me at this point. It's all bullshit. I'm like, oh, well, then, I've offered. I was like, oh, well, let's have a debate. No, I'm like, well, you wouldn't pick Honest Bros. Like, well, you pick the fucking topic and you pick the judges. I'll still fucking whoop your ass in the debate. But no one will do it, right? Because they're fucking cowards. I know what it is. It's all bullshit. So, but there's the fucking right here in our Bay Area, like we have like conspiracy theorists that says that we've all been, and supposedly we're funded. And I'm like, where's this fucking money? Right? I'm still trying to fucking get even a halfway, the computer we use is over 20 years old. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? Where is it? So anyway, so that was, you should read them. It's very, very interesting. And yeah, so there's like a small fringe group, but I think it still hurts us if there's people out there saying that about us. Although you could also say that, oh, wow, we're big enough that people are talking about us. Right? I'm like, oh shit. No. Orlando, please go ahead.
I think it is great though, because the perspectives that we come from, but I mean, mainly you, because you diverse on a lot of type of different issues. I think we'll want to welcome people, because people ask me the same thing. They be like, is y'all part of the Illuminati? Is y'all, Jill Steins, is y'all all connected? And I think this would be something good for us to be like, well, why did, because like when I sent out Instagram posts, I was telling a friend of mine, the Democrats is really scared of us and they're thinking we're taking their people. And I was explaining to some of them, it's like, man, we just informing people what's going on. Don't look at me as I'm just a green person. I'm not human. I don't have feelings. I can't talk on issues. And I'm glad you brought that up. I think we should have a debate, or at least have that a week, dialogue to be like, what do people really think of us? And I think that'd carry a lot of weight. But to sum it up, I think YouTubes, I mean, it's art, but I'm saying the way you present on the YouTubes, the Instagrams, I see more videos. more real serious questions and real
Yeah.
dialogue. And I think that's helpful for us also.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying. I do think the format of a real debate, like the movie we saw, The Great Debaters, again, the topic, resolve that topic. One takes an affirmative, one takes negative, would be a great fundraiser for us. I think people would love it. I think it would be great also in the sense that I think it would bring a more diverse audience and a younger audience, and obviously definitely a more educated audience, right? And if you could tap those people to go out and, educate the uneducated. But they won't do it. Nobody will fucking do it because so much of it, like, so where the places that we tried, KPFA, right? Neither one of those sides are going to do it because, oh, someone would have to win and someone would have to lose and they'd have to eat that for whatever. So, which tells me, I'm like, neither side believes as much in their cause, right? And they always use the excuse of, oh, well, the rules wouldn't be fair. Like, really, because you all are going to agree to the rules. We won't start the debate until everybody agrees on it, right? Whatever they are, all that shit. I will pause. Michael, please go ahead.
I want to make sure that this item is finished. I want to go back. We skipped an item on the Unified School District battles.
Oh, sure did. Sure did.
And I do want to say something about that.
Right. And we can always, that's more important in my eyes. So let's put a pause in it and then let's go right into OSD. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. I missed it my damn self. So you want to actually go ahead, Michael, please go first and then.
Okay, well, I saw an email from Bill today. It looks like we might get Mike Hutchison to do a Green Sunday. And that's really positive in my judgment. I was at the demonstration last Friday where it was a combination of the terminal, the new Oakland A's ballpark and the teachers issues. And I was at that demonstration. I'll give a short report if I may. There were about 200 to 300 people. Most, I would say the plurality of them were Longshore Local 10 members. However, there was also a organized group of teachers, but not the union. The union is really in a bad spot because the Labor Council is in favor of this, project, and the president of the Labor Council is the president of the teachers union in Oakland. So I don't know. It's kind of a mess. However, the good news is, and this is again from the press, that it may be that they're backing down. They're talking about postponing closures for this year, and maybe revisiting it next year or something like that. I think we're winning. I'm pleasantly surprised, but given the fact that the Democrats are just totally useless about this. I mean, they've done nothing to help fight school closures, zero. And only two Democrats voted against the Howard Terminal deal. Carol Fife, who is she ran as a Democrat and she is a Democrat, but she's better than the most of them by far. She's a genuine radical. And Neil Gaio was against it for whatever reason. He's just idiosyncratic. But the rest of the Democrats, including all the ones who are running for mayor this year, are all in favor of the Oakland the A's project, and they should be embarrassed. And it's something that we should call to people's attention. Maybe a piece of literature when we're ready to resume tabling, on where the situation stands, both with the schools and with the Oakland A's project. Over.
Okay, well, I know we have one already on how we feel about the base, the baseball stadium. I'll have to see what we have on education. I think the only one education ones we have is our own policy, not necessarily. I'll look. We have a lot of literature now at the moment.
Well, if nothing is appropriate, let me know and I'll try to write something when we're ready to resume tabling.
Okay, and then I'll make sure we put it into the monologue as well.
Okay.
Too, when we're out there tabling for sure, because it is something that we talk about and has to. Orlando, do you have your hand up? Yeah.
I mean, it was on record. I was talking with some people, and I mean, basically on this school issue, and we knowing it's basically a land grab. We basically knowing they're using Lauren Taylor as the champion to push it. The reality of it is how is this going to help these children in their education?
Not at all.
This don't have nothing to do with their education.
Yeah.
So I think they should use more basically on the policies and initiatives and be like, look, the Fishers, y'all own all this money, y'all paying everybody. What we going to do with this property? But as using the kids as the debate, knowing the schools is not upgraded anyway, knowing that the teachers was leaving before the pandemic because of the abuse the teachers was getting and just the cause of it. So my main thing of it is it's not helping the kids' education. It's still gonna be a political battle. Next year, Libby gone, Lauren gonna take the panel. He's gonna be the front runner. They're gonna get behind him. He's gonna do just like Carol Fife, sell everybody these promises and dreams. Then he's gonna move over to the next candidate. I'm just gonna stay green.
And that's why it's so important for us to find and get people motivated to find actual people before profit candidates. I am really surprised. I went as well. I'm glad that wasn't the only green. I stayed in my car in both rallies. There was one at the port, and then there was one at the state building as well. And I bet you the reason was because there's two people on hunger strike too. That are what it's been like 9 days, maybe even more than almost 2 weeks now at that point. So I think that is what really did it, because normally they wouldn't give a fuck if 150 people, 200 just showed up and just were yelling inside the school board meeting. They would shut it down, do a closed door meeting and vote how they wanted to vote. But why it's also important that our literature is about what a new system would look like, because we all know the reason they're closing them in the flats. It's like, it's part of the school to prison pipeline, right? The privatization of schools, so we can just wipe out slavery altogether, right? So that everybody can, we're going to have educate. We're not even going to have it as education. That whole bullshit when they start saying critical race theory, which was probably invented by some fucking anyone over 75 conservative European American man, right? Some white guy made up that fucking, I ain't never heard it in a barbershop. I never heard anybody talk about critical race theory in the barbershop. What the fuck are you talking about? And I even asked the crazy person in the emails. I was like, so are you telling me that the Holocaust didn't exist, the transatlantic slave? And actually I used the acronym, right? TAS. And she's like, I'm not familiar with that, with whatever the fuck she said. I'm like, the transatlantic slave trade, really? You're not familiar with that, are you? They didn't answer. They came back with, you were dishonest from the beginning, so I don't, whatever, right? So I don't even know what that is, but I mean, we know that the reason they're doing that is they want to fucking wash it away and don't care about the fact that actually slavery still exists, not just globally, but there is a good, and maybe that would be a good debate too, case for that the prison industrial complex is nothing but a fucking large plantation.
You bet.
Right? They fucking farm them out to work, fucking whatever it is, just because it ain't cotton no more, don't mean shit. So anyway, and look at that. And for the 7 viewers on YouTube, you can see that and more part of the monologue when you come to our events starting in May on Saturdays. You think that's good? You wait until I get going. The one we did in Diamond Park was good. 22 minutes straight. before I had to take a sip of water. I just like, my mouth was too dry at the end. And that was one where I was yelling because we were at a park. That was the one where
I want to defend the critical race
picnic.
theory.
Huh?
I want to defend critical race theory.
Oh, okay.
This
Please.
is something that I learned years ago and has stayed with me. That is the history of America. The crimes, the history of America are two serious crimes that have never been remedied: slavery and the expropriation and elimination of the native people who lived here. I mean, those two things are the bedrock of America. And that's what critical race theory is about. And I agree with that entirely.
I agree with that too. I think when actually the debate comes in like, oh, that it's being taught to elementary school kids. As a person who taught, I don't ever remember. I remember talking about racism, right? But in the sense of because they lived in deep South, we call East Oakland, and the cops were coming running through there and harassing all the time. So I kind of felt an obligation that we had to talk about that to, I did know your rights training from my elementary school after school program, so they know when, don't talk to police. I would never talk to a cop unless your parents were there, and yeah, all those different things. So yeah, but as far as like in college, of course, you teach that because it is the foundation. If it wasn't for all that extermination and free labor, whether you were in the North or the South, if you were insuring slave cargo ships, or you were actually the shipmaster, the captain who was transporting the slaves, everybody was making money off of that fucking free shit, right?
You're absolutely right.
So I would be for that too. I don't know if that is the terms. The same thing. I don't like defund the police. I like demilitarize the police. Right? Because there's so many Nazis out there. I just would rather have Green Party police or non-political affiliation. Fuck, I'd take anarchist police. People identified as anarchists as police over the police we have now, right? Let's. How about you at least have to have a high school diploma? Maybe even some sort of fucking law degree, Anyway, but yeah, which. Again, non-shameless plug, we'll be talking about that and what a green police force looks like. But although don't ask me which month it is, but you can find that at oaklandgreens.org and then also at Oakland Greens Eventbrite. Yeah, so that it was good. I'm glad that they ended up putting it off because that fucking 11-hour, 14-hour meeting when they were doing it before and deciding before the rallies and stuff that happened that weekend. Was painful to watch. Oh, we're just going to cut off the public. And yeah, anyway. Anything else to defend OUSD? No, moving back down. With social media, we did that one too. Outreach, actually, we talked about that as well. Are there any announcements?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
There's an announcement. March 5th is the Suds and Socialism event for March. And that's from 2:30 to 4:30. And you have to pre-register. I sent out the, did you receive the information, Vicente?
Yes, and we accept the co-sponsorship on our Facebook pages and publicize it as well. Yeah.
Okay, so people can find the details on our website or on. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and I've already registered myself. If anyone wants
Very
to go.
good.
I always think they're fun. I mean, of course, there's usually two people there. There's still the same issue of I don't know why people tolerate people talking like shit. Like I never would let them talk to me that way. I just try to stay out of it.
Well, it's actually gotten better.
Yeah, that is good. That's good. Yeah.
Basically, Norma is behaving. She's the other thing. I just want to say a word about what it is for the March one. It's all the women who are running on the joint slate between the Green Party and the Peace and Freedom Party. There are 4 women running for office, statewide office, and will be on the primary ballot in June. And all of them will be speaking on March 5th. Over.
Let's hope they can tap into more people to,
Indeed.
To help. Everybody is so strapped for everything, sadly. The only other announcements the Oakland Greens have is, now that we've decided to go back to in-person events, the full virtual town hall series will be up probably in the next couple of months. I know it's up till April now, but May, June, July, August, September, and October will be up shortly. There will also be, in that same time frame, Eventbrite links for the in-person free dinner and movie discussion series. All of these are outreach events, hoping to get you to engage and become producers of the politics of your communities rather than just consumers of it. My name again is Vicente Cruz, event and fundraising coordinator for Oakland Greens, and we thank you. And this has been our February monthly general meeting. I move we adjourn.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, all.
See you
Good night, all.
later. Bye.